here for the first time, just remember to subscribe, hit that notification bell. At the same time, don't forget to like the video. So I'm late like 7 minutes or 8 minutes, so sorry for that. So as the thumbnail suggests, $1 million business or how to build $1 million business. First thing, I've this is I've decided to use that title. The reason being, since yesterday I've been watching kind of two documentaries. So and these documentaries were actually based from the fact that known individuals who have built huge businesses, who have a lot of money, were taken to a place where they were not familiar, given a new phone, scrapped their original name and used a different name, let's say an acting name, and then they were given like $100, and they were just left there to begin a business. So the story behind this, or the whole idea behind this is, can someone start a business from scratch if whichever success he has achieved, if he returns to zero and is just given $100, maybe a truck, and there is nothing like connection, previous connection which he had formed are taken away from him or her, can he actually establish a business that's $1 million business? And the reason behind why they used $1 million business is because all these individuals were from the US, and the US, the money which they have, they basically have dollars, and $1 million business in Kenya is around more than 100 million Kenyan shillings. So it's a huge amount of money, and that's basically, even in the US, 1 million is a lot of money. So I decided to watch all of these two. Up to now, I've watched all of these two documentaries, kind of a documentary. One, the first individual was Glenn Stan, or Glenn Stan, I'm not sure about the pronunciation, and the other individual is Grant Cardone. I'm familiar with Grant Cardone, but Glenn Stan, I'm not. I'm unfamiliar with him, and I've also seen there were two ladies who were involved also in this kind of a challenge. But for Glenn Stan, he he did so well, and he was the first to face this challenge. Actually, for him, he was taken to a city. He was dropped there. He was given a truck, $100, and 90 days to achieve the goal. And what came out clearly was, first, if you are taken to any place where you are unfamiliar, the first thing which you need to ensure you are secured is your place of stay. That's a place where you first need to stay, because your security is so paramount. In terms of, more especially ladies, it's unsafe to acquire accommodation in your car. It's so unsafe. So that's it. First, Glanson acquired accommodation, then he kind of did odd jobs like mopping. He also offered to volunteer in given destination where he was. In exchange, he was provided with food. And that was the same case when it came to Grand Cardon. The first place he looked for was accommodation. He luckily found a place where he was to stay. And so the first thing, if you want to start a business, you must ensure that you are that. your basic need, that's accommodation, is first satisfied, then now you can also go for food. And it was a thought provoking. That's documentary. It was a thought provoking because from there I realized that if you want to start any business, first you need to ensure you have accommodation. That's the basic thing. Then have food, and you should ensure that your costs, that's maybe the sleeping place, must be as low as possible. And you should ensure, for instance, Gladstone, he used a place like let's say a public or a foundational room to make official management discussion, or how can I say it is term, group meetings. Yeah, if you use that as a group meetings, that's those halls which are been located in your given local area to foster entrepreneurship. So that's what Gladstone used. So that's what also I learned from there, that you must ensure, if you are going to start a business, make sure your expenditure must be as low as possible. You must also ensure that you are kind of aligned with those people who are in your local area. Ensure that you must make connections with people. This is what I like even from Grant Cardone, because the first thing he did is he secured a place, and then he was kind of connected to other individuals. Then it's from these individuals he used it as a foundation of building his own business. So that's why even Grant Cardone said that if you want to build a business, or if you want money, those people are the ones who have money which you want. So ensure that in whichever business you are pursuing, people have the next money which you want. And that resonated with me so much because much of the things which I've done as an individual, even though I'm not so good financially or in terms of my business, there's nothing you can compare people with. People actually have the next money which you need, the next money which you are pursuing. The ones who can assist you as a person to have are people. So ensure that you have as many people as possible. And what these two individuals build a business, not using one person, but a team of individuals. First, you as an entrepreneur, you need to understand that where is your strength, where is your weakness. Then you must have that self-control. At the same time, you must ensure that you are in that capacity to motivate people. At the same time, ensure that you have not made those people to be so dependent in such a way that they cannot make their own decisions, that they must consult you. You need to empower people to make their own choices such that they can align with the goals which you as a team need to achieve. Once you ensure that you are kind of aligned, or you have enabled your team to come up with informed decisions to pursue their own paths, so that they can ensure a group of you as a group have succeeded, then you are in a good capacity to ensure your business will succeed. That's what I learned from Grandstand. At the same time, it's the same thing which I learned from Grant Cardone. You must also ensure that if you happen to have a team of individuals, first you must ensure that they trust you, that you have gained their confidence, they can believe in you. And by ensuring that these individuals can believe in you, then you have an upper hand in making sure that you reach your goals. At the same time, these individuals also reach their own goals. And from what I learned is you must ensure that if you want to start actually any business, first look for what the market needs. Don't come up with any product and think that actually you are going to sell it. Sometimes it works because there's this great man of mine, that Steve Jobs. He says that sometimes the market really doesn't know what it wants. So at times the market relies on entrepreneurs or innovators who then can come up with a good product which even the market may not know if they needed it. I believe that's why even Henry Ford, he was asked, he said that sometimes if they could have researched what the market needed, then the market could have said maybe we need a faster horse, which is the case, which would have led them not to sorry, which then would have led them not to come up with a car. So sometimes the market really doesn't know you want, what they want. So that's why it's also encouraged that if you want to start any business, first ensure then you come up. If you come up with a good product, then you can also be successful. But if you are a completely a beginner, then you should ensure that you come up with a good product, and this good product is going to no first you need to come up with, see what the market wants. Once you see what the market wants, then you can now go and look for that product and go and sell to your ready market. And also there's something I learned from this documentary or this challenge. That's Grant Cardone. He had a car because during this challenge, what you were given is only a car. Then you are given $100. Then you are just placed in a place that is has a potential for growth. Then you start like from scratch. So what I saw, Grant Cardone was given a truck. He was able to convince his host, the one who he developed kind of a friendship with him. He was able to convince him to drive his car. Then Grant Cardone decided to sell his own car, which he was given. He sold for around $1,400. Sold for around $1,400. That's the amount which he sold. The main reason which I saw why he was saying that he sold the car is because it was a liability. This car was a liability to him. And this is what actually Robert Kiyosaki tries to elaborate in his own book, that is The Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Robert Kiyosaki tries to say that there are some things which traditionally most individuals tend to think that are assets. One of them is a house, that's a single family home, your home where you are residing. Then maybe middle class, you may end up saying a car, a TV. So all these things are liabilities. Once you understand what a liability is and what an asset is, then probably you are in good position to understand what you need to acquire. If you are an investor, then you should acquire an asset. Then from what you will be earning from these assets, then you will use them for investment. But if you are, they say Joneses, then you are going to acquire liabilities which you would think are assets. But if you happen to have a car which you are doing it for business, maybe it's bringing in cash flow, then it's important, that's an asset. But if it's something which is just stuck on your doorstep, it's not bringing money into your pocket, then actually that's a liability. Also, there is something I learned from these two documentaries. That's Grant Cardone and Glenn Stan. I believe I've got the name so right. So, oh, there are some rains which are coming. So, some rains are coming. So, there's also something which I learned from these two individuals in terms of building great teams. Sometimes you need to push individuals if their time needs to. Remember, these individuals had 90 days to prove that they in the US you can start a business and within 90 days you can turn $100 into $1 million business. So sometimes you need to push individuals so that you can reach your goals. Sometimes it needs to do. Sometimes it needs to be done. You need to push your team maybe to acquire the desirable results. So I need to shift because I see rains are coming too much. Too much rains are coming. I don't know if here it will make a nice place. So it's getting dark. Though it's getting dark and the rains are so serious. I hope these bananas are going to kind of give me a shade. So another thing I learned from these two documentaries is that you as a person, there are out people, there are so many people outside here on this planet of ours who are ready to assist, who are so ready, who are ready to sacrifice everything to make you successful. That's what I also learned. That there are so many people outside here who have kind hearts, because that has also happened to me, who are ready to sacrifice in order to see you successful. That's not so common because some individuals tend to think that human human how can I say human humility is kind of scarce in our today's world, but I don't think so. Because from what I saw, from what I learned, that there are so many individuals who are out here who are ready to sacrifice and offer you everything, almost everything, to ensure that your dream is successful. As maybe, for instance, these two individuals, they had their own dreams and they wanted to uplift the failures towns in which they were dropped. So they wanted to uplift these towns, and so the society, the team as a whole, wanted to ensure this is being done in their own town, and they want to kind of actually make their own town proud. I believe that's what even we Kenyans need to learn. We need to learn that there's no reason why maybe somebody has come from a different town, a different tribe, but is kind of prepared to ensure that he develops your own town. There's no reason why you not need to support him or her. You should support him. You should not judge him because he's from not from your tribe. It's not from your tribe. So you need to ensure that, because for instance, Kenya, I've seen there's a lot of tribal, and that's what is affecting most of developments from taking place. That's why during the election period, some people tend to run away from some towns, from some rural areas, because they don't feel so secure, they don't feel so welcomed because of political differences. So it's kind of damaging. But once you learn that that individual is in your area has his own dreams, but in him or her pursuing his own dreams is going to also elevate your local area or your urban area, then there's no reason why political differences should should divide us apart. But in one way or another, they need to unite us so that you can have credible leaders, people who want to ensure that a country has gone ahead. And there's something which is common from these two documentaries which I've watched, which also I believe is so important for me I to share. It's so important you realize that you as an individual who want to be a good business person, who wants to develop really good assets, because I as one of them, I believe I'm ready to sacrifice most of the things in order I to be successful in business. I've sacrificed a lot and I'm ready to do that. I believe there is nothing which is going to stop me, maybe unless my own brains, that's which my willpower is what can hinder me from achieving what I want to pursue. But what I learned from these two stories is one, real estate has a lot of money. That's it. Once you learn the game of real estate, then you are good to go. And real estate is actually lucrative. Some people say lucrative. I'm not sure is supposed to be pronounced, but if you want really to be successful, then ensure most of your chunk money is well invested in real estate, because real estate there, what I learned, one, there are a lot of loopholes. You can evade some taxes legally. At the same time, for instance, you can use the depreciation. Banks are kind of readily available to offer you money if the real estate is having a good cash flow, that's good statement, then banks are ready to offer you some good cash, and real estate will continue to feed even the coming generations if you happen to have one. So if you want to go business, then you should have that big picture in your mind that you should aim investing in real estate in the near future. And that's it, because Glandstan and also Grant Cardone, these two individuals, actually Glandstan flipped a house. Also Grant Cardone was almost flipping a house, or renting a house, actually acquiring a house, and he could have made 3 million US dollars in profit, but it never went successful. But at last he acquired a, how can I say, is a commercial property which they gave down payment for 200,000 US dollars, and they secured financing from a bank, I believe, and it was so much easy. Though there are some details which I'm not aware of, and I've not gained that kind of skills, but from what I've learned from and from what I saw, real estate is something which can assist you to improve financially, also motivate you to prosper. At the same time, from what I saw Grant Cardone, as you may have seen, I'm kind of really so doing everything which I can to ensure that um, I'm successful on YouTube and other social media platforms. It's true, if you happen to have a dream of business, then ensure you do everything which you can to be on all these social media platforms. In today's generation, if you want to prosper on any given business, then social media presence is a mandatory. A quote from Grant Cardone, money follows attention. And that I've seen it. So it has been pitched by Gary Vaynerchuk. Marketing ensure that sometimes this Grant Cardone has reinstated now and again. Good products, good products cannot take you so far as opposed to once you are known, then you can beat a good product. Once you are known, you can beat a good product. So ensure that if you want to go into any business, then online presence, social media presence, you are there. That's doing podcasts, videos, TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, everywhere. Ensure that you are there because digital presence, social media platforms is something which is so essential for any business to prosper. At the same time, you need to ensure that in whichever business you are going to do, resources are not going to become so instant. For instance, Grant Cardone he gained some traction after like 60 days. That's where when he started gaining some traction in his pursuit, in his challenge. So when starting a business, don't go for instant gratification. Be prepared for challenges. That's what I've learned. Be prepared for challenges. Don't quit. Just push. Sometimes you even think of giving up, but don't ever give up. Just go for your dreams. And that actually inspired me a lot because I so seriously believe that entrepreneurship is something which I'm so passionate about. I don't want to deviate and do something which doesn't make me who I am. I'm like a riffing structure. I don't want to be one of those victims. But from what I've learned from those documentaries, I've not yet made 1 million Kenyan shillings. That's like $10,000. And I've not made 100 million, more than $100 million. That's almost that's $1 million. But if I don't give up, if I do research, if I go in, if I use expertise, then success is inevitable. So I appreciate for those who have been watching my video, and I would like you to share this video. And if you have to be here for the first time, just remember to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I'm going to see you in my next video. My name has been Mosioma Augustine. Thanks for watching.